What up? What up? Me and Jen, you jumped right on time. I'll go ahead and answer your question. Let me know if you can hear me. Okay, you hear me? Okay. Yeah, me and Gene, I know Boost Doctor a long time. That was him on the other side. See, I know him when he was doing the audio stuff before he was racing. And that was his SUV you saw with the amps in it. I don't know if you saw that last little part of the clip. Part of it got cut off because I didn't want to get copyright infringement. But it'll be on the next part tomorrow. It'll be on part 4 tomorrow that I already got set to premiere. It's gonna premiere around about the same time. I think about 6 o'clock is gonna I want to premiere it. Everybody's coming in. How you doing? Hit the like button. Please hit the like button. What's up, D Brooks? Yeah, I seen. He said, okay, you seen it. So yeah, that's how I know him from that. Before racing, before anything, and he was always doing race stuff. And I met him through Jay Malcolm. Y'all know him as Malcolm 2004 with the green box. Jay Malcolm used to live not too far from me when I used to live in Atlanta. So he introduced me to him because Jay Malcolm, one of his boys, had bought a 350 transmission from me at the time back then. Jay Malcolm probably don't even remember that. It was so damn long ago. But yeah. I wanted to kind of point that out. I should have just put a text in the clip on. Should have put like a little note on the clip who that was. He was talking to me the majority of the time, and I just kind of lost track of what I was filming. Like I said, this was 2015. I lost track of the part I was filming because I had the camera actually attached to me. I had one attached. I had one on top of my head, a GoPro on top of my head, and I had my phone at the same time. And my brother was with me, and my brother, who I was always doing the footage for. I was always doing the footage for him and sending it to him. So I finally talked him into coming. I was like, "Oh, what up, John? 613. What's happening?" I was finally had talked him into it, but talked to him for years while I was living in Atlanta. And he waited till I had moved from Atlanta and I moved here in KC. And he said, "Man, let's go." I said, "Yeah, let's go. Book plane ticket, let's go." So booked my plane ticket, he booked his. We met up at the same airport around the same time, a few minutes before he did. So I just waited on him. Hopped in a rental and went to go see my dad before my dad had passed. Went to go see him, hung out, and then that Sunday we went to Stunt Fest 2015. And I had been telling him about it, and he was hooked, especially on the way there. Because once we got going and we got about a third of the way there, we started seeing a line of cars going there on trailers, car clubs. We were passing us. And I mean, yeah, Jay Malcolm got the turbo Camaro. Yeah, that same Jay Malcolm. Yeah, same Jay Malcolm. And it was so funny that my brother had a kick out. He had a good time. That's what you hear me talking to the majority of the time because I was always doing that footage for him. But I always wanted to get to the point where um, I would have him come and I wanted to document that because that was his first time ever coming to a car show like that. And this is before Whip Fest. This is before any stunt world, which is MJ the Stunt Man. That was his thing, and his car club that threw that every year. It started in a small parking lot in I want to say in Swartz or Decatur. Was one of them it started in, and I was going to it then. And for to watch it grow from a parking lot to a regular grocery parking lot, they used to do stunt Sundays on every week, and then do a few other things. Yo, what's up, Miss DUI? DIY, excuse me, DUI. Wow, I ain't trying to wish nothing on you. What's happening? What's happening? Um, if you're just tuning in, DIY, I know you're just tuning in. I did a premiere, and I'm kind of briefing some people on the premiere of everybody on the premiere of a guy I was talking to while I kind of stopped in that one spot getting a lot of footage, and that was Boost Doctor. I've known him for being in audio competitions back in the day before he had that box, before he was racing and cutting ass in that box. So I was kind of explaining a lot of what we were kind of talking about my brother finally coming to one, and I was documenting everything because my brother's first car show. He was the one I was doing all these videos for and sending to. I mean, all these videos, every throwback footage y'all see, I was doing it to try to get him to come to him. And I already had relationships with a lot of people at that point. And the next video is going to have a part with me, Dunk Master, and Country C at a conversation about a race because that stunt fest, he was supposed to be racing cut the check, and the race didn't happen. They couldn't come to agreements with this and that. It was a lot that was going on during that time, and I can't remember every little thing, but it was a lot that was going on. And you'll see that in the next footage and probably the final footage of that before I start posting other car show stuff, because I got so much footage. I'm going to be posting every day from now till 2020, every day of throwback footage. And every time I come across throwback footage, I'm gonna put it out there because so many people that ask for it, like, yeah, put it up there, put it up there, put it up there. So I'm gonna go ahead and just put it out there. And also, Mr. John 613, is some racing footage too. It took forever just to basically walk. We parked outside the gate. It was a line to get in. And majority of footage up till now, you saw me filming everybody. That's everybody that was just trying to come in. That was paying, that had tickets, that had everything. We parked and walked in. I was trying to get everybody coming in because I knew a few people already in. I knew how big it was going to be because, like I said, I was going every year. And I was documenting everything so my brother would see, look, this is what goes on, and this is why I was doing this. This is why I was doing that, because I wanted y'all to see everything. I wanted y'all to see everything. I wanted my brother to see every little thing that was going on. My cousin in New York and a few other family members that didn't, that wouldn't believe me about coming to places like that until I showed them footage. And I have some footage that I'm still digging through where I had a whole crew of people went with me, all family and friends, and we all went. And it wasn't that car show; it was another one just as big, and it was at the same racetrack, but it was something totally different, something just as big. So hopefully y'all enjoying the footage I've been putting up, with all the throwback stuff on it. It's throwback to me, but it brings back so much good memories. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm documenting everything, John. Everything. And it brings back memories of a lot of things that was going on during that time, a lot of great things. I ain't trying to think of nothing bad, but all great things. I was like, wow, man, I was going through and I'm still digging through footage. Like, I got a premiere video coming tomorrow night, 6 p.m., which is another part of this. Because this whole video I had to cut and chop up because it was like 45 minutes long. I think it was like 40, 45 minutes long. And I was like, I'm not gonna put a whole one up there. I'm just gonna chop it up and get everybody. Because you put a whole story up there like that, a whole movie, you know, people like me, will still be in tune there, but some people, are kind of drowned out. They're like, oh, this kind of drowned, it's kind of this, kind of that. And some of I have to comb through to make sure I don't get copyright infringed. Like that video is not because you can't pick all of the music on it. But I had one that I was doing, the one for tomorrow. I had to kind of chop up and change so many times because it kept sending me messages. You're going to be copyright infringed. You're going to be copyright infringed. So, okay, let me change this up before I get that. Let me change this up before that happens. So yeah, tonight I wanted to kind of talk a little bit about the footage that's been going on. I've been throwing up. Hopefully, like I said, hopefully everybody's enjoying it. Kind of get some people's, thought process on it, and see if y'all enjoying it. If you want me to keep going with it, because I actually put out a poll. I think it was either on IG or TikTok. I put out a poll: should I keep going with this footage? And so far, it's at 100%, and it's like maybe 60 votes on it. So I'm figuring 60 people have voted. I'm like, wow. So I'm just gonna keep putting it up. And even matter of fact, even Dunk Master himself was like, yo, put it up. He said that, and Stitch by Six was like, yo, put it up. Throw it up there. People need to see where it came from that point to where it's now going in 2020. Yeah, 6 videos, 10 minutes each. Get more viewing time than 160 video. Yeah, right. John, you're right. I will get more viewing time for that. So that's another reason why I did that. So I can get my viewing stuff up. So I get stuff, get members up. Like just today, I looked and I had 6 people subscribe just off of watching the series. It's like, yo, is this a series? And I had to kind of explain to them, like, it's not just series. It's this, is that, is this, and this is what's going on. So yeah, I basically, sorry y'all, I got another chat thing going as well, because they got to see this, and they watching this at the same time, and I don't know why they're not linking them together. They're supposed to link together. I don't know why not. But yeah, hopefully, like I said, hopefully everybody's enjoying the footage that I've been throwing up, and we can go. If anybody got any questions, put it out there. I'll read them as I go along. Also, D Brooks, I don't know if you're still in here. I don't know if you got a chance to basically see that, see the process of how a lot of people were leaving from the regular traditional engines and going to basically LS swaps. You'll see a couple of LS swaps in here. At that time in 2015, it was starting to pick up and become a whole big trend. You had a lot of people that were doing LS swaps and changing the intake and putting a whole different intake on it, putting carburetors on it. And now, as we're going into 2020, you have a lot of people that's doing full LS swaps, period. One of the videos I'm actually combing through um, has a full restoration where they basically took 95 Impala. Sorry, I missed the last one, D Brooks. I forgot to ring notification bell until now. Yes, John, please, everybody, please hit the notification bell. I mean, I'm announcing when they're going up, but you get that reminder. It's like, oh shoot, I gotta go, I gotta watch this. I gotta watch this. Um, so, like I was saying, you'll start seeing a lot of the transition with a lot of these throwback footages I'm putting up. And this one guy, like I was here to say, he took a 95 SS Impala that was total loss, and he wanted just the frame, and he did a whole frame swap uh, on his 70. What is that? He had 73 Vert, and he did a whole frame swap, so he would have to convert brakes and everything else, even though he ended up putting bigger brakes on later on. But it was easy for him to do that, and he left the LS engine, everything in it, and while he had it off the frame, he went ahead and rebuilt the engine himself, rebuilt it, redid everything to it, put bigger heads on it, with bigger ported heads on it. He bored out the block 30 over. He did a handful of things to it, put a nice cam in it, and I remember seeing it in person because I was at a buddy of mine shop in Atlanta where he would come in and do some of the work at because he couldn't do it at his house. And when he would do a lot of the work, um, a lot of it was um, a lot of it was basically, how can I explain it? Trying to explain it a nice simple way. A lot of it was doing his spare time. He was working regular 9 to 5 like how we working, and he wanted to basically do that so he have a new feel, new everything. And he actually took that same interior that was in that 95 SS and put it in his car. And at the time when he did that, he was one of the first ones I seen do that. Besides Dunkmaster car that was done by Slick, and a few others. It wasn't a lot of people doing that at the time. So it is what it is. John said, "Hold on, I'm responding to questions here and there. I like the EFI because you don't have to buy an intake and carb, number two in the car. Yeah, I like that too. As far as with the EFI, you don't have to do that. And I like what Holly has come out with now. Holly has come out with the whole EFI Terminator kit and their other EFI kit, where if you download the app that goes with it, you can tune it on the go. Just got to spend more money. Yeah, you do. You just got to spend more money. Um, Next thing we can talk about, if anybody has any questions, put them on the side. We can also talk about engine is kind of sitting off to the side. There's a lot. John says, yes, Terminator is good. Trying to think. The next thing, I don't know who all still in here. It's going slow on my end for me for some reason. It's showing only 3 people. I don't know who's all here and breaking up. Yeah, I don't know what just happened. Am I coming in better now? What about now, y'all? Am I coming in better? Back? Okay. Um, I'm here. You break it up, bro. Yeah, I don't know what was making me break up, but my signal's back strong. It just dropped all of a sudden. I don't know why. It shouldn't, because I got full strip. I don't know what's going on. Let me try something real quick. See if this helps. Okay, you say I'm good. Okay, I'm good now. Everybody, I'm good. Okay. Guessing I'm good. Wasn't gonna be real long tonight. I'm gonna try to make sure I get on live every Tuesday, but wasn't gonna be real long. I just wanted to get a lot of people's feedback on the footage and whatnot, and see how everybody liked it. I said, there was cameras attached to me, so sometimes my shirt got in the way, or the strap got in the way, or whatever. But like I said, it's old footage, and the newer footage, I'm not having none of the issues. Not having none of the issues where it's not is it's not getting good footage and it's not stable. That was an old camera, and it was a hand me down. Actually, a good friend of mine had gave me that camera because he bought a new one. He had bought a Canon or something like that. He bought, and he just gave me that camera. He said, "Man, you need a good camera. Here you go." He said, "Nothing wrong with it. He's as stable as this camera." And like I said, that was 2015, and that camera that he gave me, he bought back in 2013 or something like that. It was a good camera, worked well, but with technology, everything has improved since then. So I know for the next shows, especially coming for 2020 that I plan on attending, it will not be choppy or nothing like that. It's gonna be nice, clear, no issues, no nothing. So we shouldn't have. I'm gonna wipe this camera. Somehow a smudge or something got on this camera. Okay, much better. So hopefully that the newer footage that I, especially like I've been doing. If you go back to some of my older videos, I have newer footage, and it's not throwback footage. You'll see that it's a whole lot better than this footage. But like I said, hopefully everybody's enjoying the cars and whatnot. Um, I was hoping there was one person I was hoping was going to join this live so I could talk about his car, but I don't see him in here. He didn't jump in here, so I'm not going to talk about it until he jumps in here. But definitely shout out to y'all that's here. Um, I know a lot of people end up watching the repost of this, which is fine. It's a good series for your channel. It's a good car show history. Yeah, DIY, and that's why I wanted to put it up. I actually had some of this stuff on my old channel, and I kind of pulled all. Well, I already had all the stuff saved, and on my old channel, it did a whole lot. It did a whole lot, and I was able to basically, grab a lot of this footage, recondition it to kind of work for YouTube now. Try to put in 1080p or 4K, and put it out there and see how things would go. And yeah, Mr. John, yeah, I use my phone a lot for a lot of stuff. I use my phone, and it does. I set it to do 10-minute clips in between, so I can just film for 10 minutes and stop filming another 10 minutes, and I can edit any way I want to edit. Period. So definitely, I definitely use my phone a lot. Use my phone, use my GoPro. That's really all I use now: phone and GoPro. I got a GoPro Hero 4 that works just as good. I use them all. Call it a day. Um, Trying to think what else, what else, what else. Sorry, y'all. My ring app was going on. Someone was at the door. They got it upstairs. Sorry, I'm not ignoring y'all. Um, Man, James said, "What's a good, cheaper camera to get?" Right now, there's a lot of cameras on sale for the holidays right now. One of my buddies just grabbed one of the new GoPro Heroes. What is that? The 7, I think that is, and it was half off. And it was online. He said, "I found it online half off." He said, "So what I did was, I know it's a reputable company. I forgot the company he said he found it at, but he wanted it right now. He took it to a store here that price matched, and they price matched it. He showed it to them. They pulled up the website, looked at it, like, yeah, we got to match that price, and they matched it." Um, he said, "Me and Gene, I got a JVC camcorder on Amazon. I use it often. It was only $99. Yeah, you get a lot of good cameras for cheap. If you don't want to use your phone. For me, I use both, but you definitely can get some good decent cameras for cheap. Like, I miss the days when like places like Best Buy, and I'm gonna go all the way back to Circuit City, had them there and they were on, and you could see your whole footage. There's only a few places I know that do it. Like, there's a place here that has them like that, but they don't have all the latest. They only carry so many, but the ones they have are real nice, and you get to kind of see what it is. Like, they have a 360 camera that I would definitely love, because it's not your average 360 camera. It'll recognize, like, if I'm moving around, it'll recognize, and you can have where it just focus on you moving. And I was like, yo, that is sick. I would love to have that. But then again, it was like $600 for it. Wasn't too bad, and it was small, and it had attachments on it. You could attach it to anything you want, and the battery life on it was ridiculous. It had 20 hours of battery life. And I was like, oh wow, this is crazy. And it came with 3 batteries, so I'm like, damn, you can film all day with that. Have to learn how to edit on the laptop. Hey, DIY, I could definitely tell you how to do that. I know you see some of my footage, but a lot of editing. And I'm talking to y'all on my laptop right now, and a lot of I edit on here. If I'm not editing on there, I'm on my I'm on my bigger one. And with my bigger one, I can edit a whole lot faster because it's a gaming PC I built, which I'll show it to you real quick. I have it hooked up to my projector, and with that, I can edit a whole lot faster. Yeah, yeah, Gene, that's what it said. It said up to 20 hours. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's crazy. And it's a name brand I ain't never heard of. But they had it on display. And every time people were walking by it, it was a guy that worked for the company standing there. And this is right before the holidays happened. And appreciate it, John. Appreciate it. Yeah, definitely. I'm gonna talk about that in a minute. Let me explain this. And he was showing it, and I stopped because I was intrigued by what I saw. And he said, "Yeah, he's a 360 camera." I said, "Yeah, I know 360 cameras. I would love to have one day." Blah 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 blah. He was like, "No, this ain't your average 360 camera. 360 camera, it will focus on you. You can have it. You set it up, and it memorizes you. Period. Your face, your whole body structure, everything. And as you walk, it follows you. You can have it just follow you. Have the little remote control. You can set it, have it just follow you. Um, And also, John, I have a drone that I use for footage too. I've been using it a while. It's a Phantom 4. I haven't used it in a long while. It's an older drone. I used to get a lot of footage with that. As a matter of fact, I was at a car show one time. I used it for footage, and I had it so high in the air, and I just left it up there. I have it set and just stayed up there and that camera just would get everything. It had basically it had a 180 camera, but the camera would just turn. It would just slowly keep turning and it would catch everything that was going on. I was able to catch races, catch this, catch that, and I'm gonna start back using that. I need to charge that up, pull that back out the box, charge it up. I was going to end up getting a smaller drone because, like I said, that's a huge drone. I was going to get one smaller. I've seen one so small now that takes good footage, high footage, whatever you want to call it, and it's a little bit bigger than my hand. I'm like, yo, that's what's up. Now, on to my setup, John. This is my whole theater slash bar room down here and in my office. This is why I do a lot of my editing, a lot of my work. I do it down here, and it gets me away from the kids bothering me and everything else. I come down here for a couple hours when I can, and I do what I need to do. I was going to actually buy a TV to put on this wall, but I know from the last place I lived at, and that's when I bought this setup, it was cheaper to buy this screen and a projector than it was. Yeah, my man cave. Yeah, James, basically my man cave. It was cheaper to buy the screen, which is a 120-inch screen, and my projector. It was a whole lot cheaper to buy that than buying a TV. The projector I paid, I think, $399 for. It was on clearance for $399, and it's a BenQ. Q is a good brand. It's up there with Canon. It's up there with Epson. Yo, what up, LS Chevy Rider? Yo, what is happening? Um, it's up there with all of them. So I bought that, and then the screen I found on eBay, and it was in brand new in a box, still in pieces. A person had it for however how long, but they never used it. They only had it for a couple of months and never used it. And I basically was able to get it for a little nothing. I think I paid maybe $89 for that 120-inch screen. You can't beat that. And I got it here. I got it. It was when I was at the old place. Put it together, put it on the wall, and it fit here perfect. Because me and my wife bought this house, the guy that lived here, he actually had the same size screen on his wall. So I asked him to leave the little bracket things up, which was the small little pieces up, so I could just judge by that and put it up. And that's what I did. And hung my screen right up in the same place. He had a projector almost like mine, same size and everything. So all I did was just screw mine in its place, and he already had most of the wires run, except for what someone I want to do, which once I get a chance, I'm gonna go ahead and do. John said, "Boss office." Yeah, I guess you said the boss office. With me, I'm in IT security. A lot of stuff I do, I work from home, so I'll sit down here and do a lot of work, a lot of work down here, because I can work on my laptop and I can work on the screen. Now I wish I had my 360 camera on something now so y'all can see that and this at the same time. LS, I'm glad you finally came in, LS. Kind of get you caught up on a lot of things. Because I know you probably at work just watching. I know a few people don't even use the screen, just project the wall. Yeah, I could have did that. I could project off the wall. Just the place I lived at before, it wouldn't have worked. So that's why I got the screen. I got a good deal on it. Buddy of mine, that's what he does. He has one of those. He has a portable projector, and he'll take it outside, and he has the blow up thing. But now he doesn't use the blow up thing because the wall in his house, it shines off the wall of his house just as good. So during the summer, he'll have his pool open, and he'll have game night there, or he'll have a movie playing, and they do all that right off of that. Matter of fact, I'm gonna do some footage of that because he said I could do some footage of that. And that's a good buddy of mine who you see in my intro, who I was sitting in his Ferrari. Well, both his Ferraris. He used to have a white, but now he has that other one with the forges on it. And that 4 88 88 Italia. I'm gonna do some footage stuff with him. Probably once a weather break and whatnot. Good friend, good friend of mine, live not too far from me. Um, Also, LS, like I said, I'm glad you up in here. I was talking about a good transition that's in a lot of my throwback videos that you'll watch. You'll start seeing some footage of people starting. You'll see cars like, oh, they started doing LS swaps. They started doing this, and a lot of it I remember back then. They were getting these engines, these Vortec engines at first, switch them over to carburetor and just using it for the pulleys because then you had the one separate time belt and it didn't do all that squealing. You just change a few things on it, change the pulleys, put some smaller pulleys on it, and you were good to go. And it went from that to basically the LS engines, from the Vortec engine to the LS engines, where they basically had just straight out the car. Some of them switched it intakes and put carburetors on them to after not doing the carburetors on them to doing just full LS swaps because more and more parts came available and it was easy to do and you came across those engines for cheap. Matter of fact, today a buddy of mine hit me up today. He gave me a phone call today. He's in Atlanta and he's doing an LS swap in a Chevelle. And I was like, in a Chevelle? He said, oh, I'm going to tell you, I found a 1970 Chevelle SS, true SS, just a body at a salvage yard. I said, what? He said, yeah. He said, I already did the body work to the prime and everything. I was like, oh, man, when I come back to Atlanta, I'm going to come check it out. And he said, yeah. He said, he found a short bed pickup truck with no back body on it. It just had the front cab shell and everything, and it drives around everything. A guy was going to put a service body in, but found another truck that was all-wheel drive and decided to use that. And he bought the whole truck for $350. So he basically has a 6.0 engine, the tranny to go with it, and everything to just swap everything over for that little bit of bread. And I'm like, yo, you got a nice deal. He said, I'm gonna let this guy here I know go ahead and do the cam swapping and do this, do that, because I ain't savvy with it, but he gonna help me with it. And then I'm gonna go ahead and snatch everything out and put it in that Chevelle. I said, okay. He said, I already bought the mounts, already bought this, already bought that. I said, well, I'm coming there around this time and that time. And when I get there, if you need help, I'll come by and help you out. And also, you can let me document. I document for my channel because a lot of people I know doing LS swaps that's on my channel, which I was talking about, y'all, that's on here, that they would love to see that. He said, yeah, that was popular back in the days, putting them 98, 99 Vortec motors in old school. Yeah, that was very popular back then. I've actually been, and back when that was going on, 98, 99, I was painting cars back then. And it was a lot of people getting my uncle to do those swaps for him. And it was an easy swap. You didn't really have to do much to him at all. And my uncle was hooking them up for him, and I was doing it. And when he would take the engine out, I would paint the engine bays and whatnot, or if the car needed a full paint job or truck, whatever, I was doing that. And to see it go from that to what it is now, and now is that to the point, as Mr. DIY would say, do it yourself. There's a lot of people out here doing it themselves. And YouTube is the way how a lot of people are learning how to do these swaps and not having a whole lot of issues with it. And now, at this point in time, now you can get switchover parts. Like for instance, I told a guy, it's a sell on eBay. He only has an eBay thing now because of his website host, and he had a bunch of issues with that, so he just sticks with his eBay sales now. He has a whole switchover kit where you could buy everything to switch it over to an old school car. And if he doesn't have a list, you just call him. He'll tell you what works with it. And it comes with the motor mounts. It comes with everything, headers, everything. You just buy one package. and swap everything to that engine and drop it in your vehicle and keep it moving. He even sells the flash computers and everything. He sells flash computers, and he also has where you can send your computer to him and flash. And then, like I said, he was doing all this before you could find all this stuff online. Now you find a lot of stuff online. A flash online, you'll find tunes online, you find all that. So I'm loving that people are now doing them. And I came across a YouTube channel today, and I can't think of who it is by accident. YouTube now is doing a lot of recommends right now, and it recommended to me his father and his son. The father's it looked like he's about in his late 20s. His son is like 8 years old, and they're into heavy doing swaps. And his son was like, he was using his allowance money. His father explained. His son was like, well, the father was explaining, hey, my son, his whole allowance, and never know what he was all doing with it. I asked him, he said, Dad, I'm sitting to buy a car. I'm gonna go ahead and buy it, fix it up, and by the time I get my license, it'll be already done. I can fix it up and drive it. I was like, wow, he's doing what I was doing back then. There's a lot of people that wasn't doing that. And to see that whole process, and when I looked at it, I happened to look at the data. I said, oh, this is old. This is 4 years old. So I fast forward to 4 years ahead, and I'm like, oh my God, he is like 12, 13 years old. And he has the car fixed up. He has a 1980 Chevrolet Malibu, and it's clean. He bought it, and he explains, and his voice has gotten deeper with puberty now. He explains, I bought this car 2 years ago. I bought it. It had the V6 in it, tore it out, and we put an LS 5.3 in it at first. He said that we had issue with the 5.3, and we kept looking online. We found a Dolaville that had a 6.0 in it, and now that's what I got in it now. And yeah, DIY, smart dude. Smart dude. That's what I did when I was younger. When I moved from New York to down south, my dad instilled in me, because all of the mechanics, he was like, the best way you're gonna get your car is fixing you one up. And I was intrigued by that. It's a lot of kids now that's not even doing that. What up, LS? I'm glad you're back. There's a lot of people that's not doing that. And I'm gonna try to instill in my kids, once they get older, like, you start this now and you learn a trade, you learn this, you learn that. Not saying you have to go do this for the rest of your life, but you have the knowledge of it. You won't get gypped out here, because there's a lot of people that's gypping people out here. Like me and Gene, you was in that live, I think, today. It was a guy talking about, and LS, I think it was your live. I can't remember who live was, but he was talking about that. Either today or yesterday. He was talking about how much money he paid to get a steering collar swap, like $600. I'm like, good God, that don't even cost that much to swap out a steering collar. It's really not that. It's complicated, but it's not once you really look at it. For a Cavalier, LS, are you serious? A guy came up for drill slaughter rolls for a Cavalier? Oh wow! They actually do sell them online. I don't know about if they have them in the shop. They definitely got them online. Um, wow, that just. I'm sorry, I saw that. I just made me laugh. Thanks to Mean Gene Customs, 12 months of work, but the engine was in running. First 2 months last winter, spent a lot of time on interior and doors. Oh wow, yeah, man, spent a lot of time on it. Wow, and it's not a rat race. It's not a race. Like I've been telling people for a long time, it's not a race. Like my Deuce and the Quarter, y'all seen it on there. This has been 4 years in the making, getting to this point. I started with, just when I first got the car here and it had the engine and whatnot that's still in it. I was like, I'm gonna wait to do this. I'm gonna wait to do that. Hey, Ellis, I got to show that man. He said, do you want to show? Yep, I'm dead ass. I can't make this shit up. I know you can't make it up. It's a lot of shit that happens. You can't make it up. Like, for instance, it's another story I'm gonna talk about after this. No, let's go ahead and talk about it now because it's fresh in my brain. Y'all, I ain't been doing this that long posting video, but I've been part of YouTube for a long time. I've been posting videos. And the craziest thing is I now have a troll trolling me, and it's a woman. It really is a woman. I guess they know I was in IT. I found out all the information. And I said, look, if you're not liking what I'm doing with my channel, if you're not like what I'm doing with what I'm doing, it's fine tomorrow. I thought you were just gonna stay sticking with travel and this and that. I'm like, I'm all around person. I'm gonna put a lot of stuff up. And a lot of people, I asked them, what they want. And a lot of what's been, I put out a voting poll on YouTube and on IG. Ask people what you want. You rather see this, or this. Right now, the car thing is winning. People want to see that. So I'm like, I'm putting it up there. Yes, DIY. A troll already. Me and you have the same amount of subscribers just about. Already got a troll. Already. got a troll already. And it was a chick talking about, I thought you could put more travel up. Why are you doing that? Why are you doing this? And I mean, just trolling the hell out of me. And LS, yeah, I seen that person probably just like you, Village. I seen that, but yeah, I mean, they were just mad about me not posting up a lot of travel stuff. And I'm like, the travel stuff's coming, but I'm not going anywhere right now. So I put up a poll about what people want to see, what I have, and what I come across every day. And it's the cost of a lot of people wanted my car knowledge. A lot of people wanted my knowledge of what I've been around, and I had to explain that to them. I said I've been around a lot of things and cars all my life. When people were getting tricycles at 3 years old, I was getting tools for Christmas and my birthday. I have a picture that I need to show of me opening up Christmas gifts when I was 3 years old, and the gift was a small little Craftsman toolbox. It was the metal Craftsman toolbox that they don't even make anymore, and I still had that metal box because the collectors out of now. And it was about yay big, and it had your basic socket sets in it, metric, non-metric. It had the 3/8 and the 1/4 inch, and that's all that was in it. And my dad was like, "This is your first tool set. This is what it's gonna be." Basically, that's what he told me. So I'm just trying to get out there some of my knowledge. Like I'm always on people's live, and Gene, you know it. You see me on their lives. It be lives I be on that people like, how the hell you just be on this live? You on this live, that Alyssa? Because I like so many things. And when I'm jumping LS's live or I'm in D Brooks's live and y'all talking about stuff I already know, I'm gonna put in, my little 2 cents, and I'm gonna learn stuff along the way because you never, no matter how long I've been doing this stuff, you never, and I mean you never get away from learning anything. You never know. People better stop blocking these trolls taking away from your views. I ain't even block her. Once I found out who it was, we had a conversation. And she was like, "Well, my husband's looking at all your stuff." Okay, that's fine. She said, "But I didn't like that. And I know John's gonna relate to this. I didn't like that you zoomed in this video. And it's from one of my throw videos I'm throwing up. You zoomed into that chick getting out the car, and you zoomed into her, her chest." I'm like, that video was so old at the time. I just threw it up there, but okay. I just okay. And I said, we're going to agree to disagree, but don't do it like that because of what I'm doing. New York, you be everywhere. Yeah, I mean, I'm everywhere. I'm on so many people's chats and whatnot. Because sometimes I'll be down here working, and while I'm working, I'll just throw on a live. I'll get the notification, throw it on. Oh, let me watch this person live. And that's what I always did for years. When I say years, before live even came to YouTube, when it was just live stream and they had their own thing, I was always doing it. I was always on YouTube, watch people's videos. And a lot of times I would comment, sometimes I just hit the like button, just keep it moving. But now I'm more heavy into commenting and doing this. I've been heavy more doing that since my dad passed. Like y'all seen the video. That was my therapy. Watching and doing all that stuff. So that's why I've been just doing it heavy. And another guy just came in for help. He said he was getting treated by a headlight bulb. LS, you gotta help him out. Some of these headlight bulbs are ridiculous. Like I seen one on the vehicle. They told us later you had to take the bumper off to get to it. And matter of fact, I was at an AutoZone. I said, "Miss, you're gonna take the bumper off." I said, "I can put that headlight bulb on for you real quick." "You can?" And I had to show her how to turn your wheel that way. She turned her wheel. I took my tool, undid her clips, pulled her fender well back, and reached in there and grabbed the bulb out. Gave it to her, gave me the new bulb. I had on a napkin that she had. New bulb back in, sat it back up in there. "Turn your lights on. They on?" She turned them on. "Oh, everything's working." Yeah, I think a son or somebody was in the car. That was her daughter. So turn the lights on. She turned the lights on, and the car was still running when I did it. And then I button everything back up, put the little cover back on the light, put the clips back up, turn your wheel. All right, see y'all. So y'all owe me nothing. They gave me $20. So y'all owe me nothing. No, because the dealership was going to charge me $200 to change it, and they told me if I go up here and get it, and the guy they tell me to take the bump off, I'm like, you ain't got to do that. You ain't got to do that. PT Cruise, you need to remove the tire and remove the bulb. Yep. Yeah, the PT Cruisers was something else. I've actually seen a PT Cruiser, a guy take a PT Cruiser just for shits and giggle, and put a 5.7 Hemi in it, and it was a sleeper. People saw it. It was purple and black. Yeah, I saved the day, John. I sure did. It was purple and black, and it had a stock exhaust on it. Nothing loud, But you could tell, a car person could tell something different with that car, and that car would move. It would move, and I know you probably wonder how they get that engine in that car. That engine bay, you may think it's small, but it goes back deep. And what they did was cut part of the firewall and redid the firewall. So when you open the door, it was like getting into a 32 Ford. If y'all know what a 32 Ford looks like in the inside. Yeah, 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 Miss DIY. Yeah, it had a Hemi and a PT Cruiser, and he was killing everybody with it. He said, "Man, I just want to do it for shits and giggles." And he lives that's back when I was living in Charlotte. He lives in Charlotte, North Carolina. He said, for shits and giggles, I want to do it, and I drive around town. And I was like, "You got to be kidding me!" I said, "You could have did anything else with this." Now I want to do to see what it would do. He said, "Eventually, I'm going to end up selling it." I don't know if he sold it or not. I hadn't seen him after that because I moved from Charlotte at the time. But basically, to see that he did that, I was just like, wow. And then when you open the door, you saw part of the dash push back because he redid that whole firewall and then had them just wrap it. He took some of the PT Crew stuff, put it to wrap it, and that's where you could tell it was different. Without looking inside, you couldn't tell nothing. But yeah, that car would move. It would definitely move a scat. Apple Monster, what's happening, man? Glad you up in my chat. You up in my live for the first time. Appreciate you. Trying to think what else. Like I said, for y'all just getting in, please smash the like button. Everybody, please smash the like button as you coming in. Please smash the like button. Um, I got to see. I know I was talking about earlier about the way things have changed with everything over the years, and one of the things that was on my mind was, I really love that I'm seeing a lot of people are finding ways to do it themselves because I'm seeing the newer generation. Not to say I'm that old, but I'm seeing the next upcoming generation that's in high school and whatnot. Some of them are not even in the vehicles anymore, or in the motorcycles or anything. And a lot of them don't care. They just, want to get to point A, point B. They don't care about that. And to me, I think that was kind of a problem because when I was in high school, you had auto mechanics. And some of these high schools I've seen now have auto mechanics and a body shop in it. I kid you not, there's a high school here, and I had to go there and talk about IT for career day. And I got a tour of the whole school. And the tour that I got of that whole school, I saw the body shop and it had all modern stuff in it. And they can be ASC or ICAR certified, which I'm still both. And they could be certified before they even go to college. And then turn around if they want to do that for a living. It's a college right down the street that has the same setup. They bought an old dealership that closed down and did a whole setup, and your credits can transfer, and you could be done in less than a year and that's if you took it the whole time you was in high school, you could be done in 6 months because the same people that's run the high school program run the college program. You just switch over and be done, and you could be already graduated with basically associates in automotive collision repair, like I did years ago, and I was like, wow. And what really shocked me, not shocked me, but made me so happy, the guy said, in my class for the automotive and for the collision, because I teach both, if people want to take both, he said, everything is 3 hours long. He said, it's more girls in the class than guys. Let that process for a minute. More girls in the class than guys. And I was like, really? And I got a chance to meet some of the girls. And this one young lady, she's so smart. And she's like, yeah, she's in the honors program in this, but she won't take that because she has an artistic background. She likes to draw and she does airbrushing. And I was like, wow, you ought to make some cards and make this. Get your name out there. You do some nice stuff. Like she had a hood that they showed me that she's working on. And she did a whole mural with candy paint, the actual House of Color candy paint. She bought all the little tubes and did a whole mural. And I was like, wow. She said, yeah, this is a mural of my grandfather is going on his car, and he gave me his car before he passed. And I have it sitting in my house, but I'm painting the hood, doing the mural. I already painted the whole car. I painted the whole car here, but I'm doing this mural on the hood last. And then I'm gonna re-clear everything. I'm gonna block it and re-clear it. But I mean, it looked nice. It looked like the picture was gonna jump out. Oh, yo, this is sick. I said, how long did it take you to do this? She said, it's taken me 2 months to get this far. She said, and I still have a long way to go. I mean, crazy. And I took a picture of it. This is so wow, this is so long ago, a few years ago. I took a picture of it, and I need to find that picture and post it because I know she's doing great things doing it now because she was getting calls from Harley from one of the Harley dealerships here to basically and the Harley factory when it was here in Kansas City to do some custom work, some airbrush custom work to airbrush the Harley emblems so they can do it on some of the tanks for some of the bikes and try to market that. So hopefully she's still doing it. One of them, yeah, trying to get you one of them girls. Oh boy, I'm not getting into that. I don't know what you mean by that. And these girls in high school at the time. So anyway, we're gonna move past that. But Johnny said when I was a kid in the late '80s, early '90s, cars were their time. Stuck with it nowadays. They get 100 horsepower. Yes, John, I remember back when I was in junior high school and high school. Most cars only had maybe 300 horses, if that. And I remember Honda came out with their, and I don't like talking about Honda a whole lot, but they came out with their VTEC, and it was pushing close to 400 horses. And I was like, oh, wow, they stepped up their game. And then, a muscle car at the time, a good muscle car maybe pushed 400 or 500 horses. Now, your average vehicle from the factory is doing that. And I think LS had talked about that at one point. Your average vehicle is doing that now. So if you're doing a muscle car now, you better be putting out some ponies right now. You better be putting out getting somewhere in that 800, 1,000 to make it official. What it is because you got most cars at the factory now pushing that. And I remember it being unreal when that Dodge Ram came out with the 500 horses underneath the hood. And I was like, wow, this is crazy. And now, see it now, it's a whole lot more than what it is now. Firebirds were the only ones that had 150 horsepower in the 80s. Yeah, I remember those Firebirds. I called them the Michael Knights. So I mean, talent girl who like cars. Oh, talent girl who like cars. It's some out here. Believe it or not, it's a lot of them out here that do. And there's a lot of chicks out here that like cars. I've learned that going back and forth to a lot of the car shows. Like it's this guy that's in Iowa with his box Chevy and with a two-door box. I know y'all. I don't know if y'all probably seen it in the videos. Probably notice it. I think it's Car Club. It's Low Life. Thing name the Car Club. I know I got it in some of the footages. I'm gonna go ahead and post that footage as well. But you'll start seeing him and you'll see his girl and his girl box. She has a two-door Lando just like his, sitting on set of 26s. I know LS, you don't like big wheels, but she got a nasty motor sitting in it. And I also knew this couple in Atlanta. Both of them had 442 Cutlasses, 1970 Cutlass. I think it was a 70, hers was like a 71, 72, but you really couldn't tell them too much apart because of the same clip front ends on them. And hers was called Tiffany's because her name was Tiffany. And it was called Breakfast at Tiffany's. That's what it said on the front license plate of the car. And it was Tiffany blue outside, Tiffany blue and white inside. And she had a 383 stroke in it. I mean, she was killing the game with that. It was like, damn, she riding and stunned better than some of these dudes out here. Which was like, wow, man, this is crazy. She's doing like that. But you have some out here doing that. It's actually a chick in Florida that has what is that? She has a 75 vert, 75 dunk vert, which is a Caprice convertible. And people say she says people think it's my husband's car. It's not. My husband has his own. He has two, and I told him I wanted one, and he gave me one for Mother's Day. And said, we're gonna fix it up to your liking. He said he bought it, and it was just a prime body. They had no motor, no nothing in, no interior, just a body, and they fixed it up to what it is now. And it's a great looking car. Just today don't know how good they got it with the Hellcats. And it's 200 horsepower Hondas. No, they don't. It's all kids want is Scat Packs and Hellcats. You right, Mean Gene. My neighbor down the street, he has a Hellcat, and that's all his son wants. And he's like, you know what? That's all my son wants is a Hellcat, a Scat Pack, or something. And a lot of them, they don't want to do the work fix them. They want the gratification now. So they say, you know what? We'll get this over here from the factory that's already pushing these horses. We'll get this over here. We'll get that, and this is how we're gonna run it. I actually had a kid when I lived on the other side of town time, and he bought he saved his money, and he bought a 2013 Charger RT. And he said, "Man, how can I hook this? How can I do this?" I said, "Man, we're gonna take all the RT badges off so nobody know what it is." What? We're gonna take all that off. Won't nobody know what it is because yours is generic white. That generic white looks like everybody else's. Let's dope it up a little bit. Take all the emblems off. Take this off. We're gonna have it clean around the outside. We're gonna add your own touches to it. It was a guy that made emblems with a CNC machine out of anything you wanted, and I got his son to basically print him some 3D emblems with a 3D printer. I said, nobody got this. And what we're going to do is we're going to either dip these, airbrush. I said, let's hydro dip. Hydro, what's that? I showed him the process of hydro dipping. Now this kid to this day, I know last time I saw him, he hydro dips everything and does it for a lot of people. For y'all don't know what hydro dipping is, I know a lot of people that do, but the ones that don't, it's basically built not bought. Yeah, that's built not bought. It's basically a process where you're taking water, taking paint because water and paint don't mix because it's an oil and water don't mix, and then you're slowly putting it in and it's sticking to whatever you're putting it on. And that's how we did his emblems. We did something crazy. It's like a black and red, it's swirled mix, and we had all the emblems sitting on one sheet of something, and we just dipped them all in and pull them all out and let them air dry. Let them air dry, and it dried, but it stuck on it. And then I turned around and clear coated them with some 2K clear in a can, so they would never fade and wouldn't have problems. And it set that whole car off. So now your shit is different from everybody else's. I want to do my grill piece too. Okay, we took the grill inserts out, did the same thing with his grill inserts, the same color, everything. And he loved it. He loved every bit of it. It looked good. And I also have to think about it. He was only 16 years old, so that was a good way for him to start off. And he always wanted an old school car, but he said I could never save enough money to find one where I could do what I want to do with it because I still needed something to drive to school, and I need something with heating and air because we have cold ass winters here, and the summers torturous too, so treacherous too. So he wanted to make sure he had stuff all the way across the board. Um, but I've been on here for about almost an hour. I don't want to bore y'all to death. Just want to get in my live Tuesday and talk about some things. How to dip my wheels someday. Hey, John, you can. You can get a big enough tub. Matter of fact, you get one of moving tubs from Walmart. Depending on what size your wheel is, and you can do it. But make sure you scuff it real good first. If it's an alloy wheel, and you can do it because he wanted to do that to his. And I told him, I said, man, you don't want to do the whole thing because now you're gonna throw it off. It's gonna look crazy. But he ended up finding a pair of rims off a newer Challenger that was at. Matter of fact, I told him about it off Facebook Marketplace. That was at a salvage yard, but they were selling the wheels. He bought the whole wheels and whatever those Dodge Charger wheels that has a little insert thing. I actually got the glue off and popped the whole insert. We did that whole insert, dipped it the same way, and put it back on. Dipped it, I cleared it, put it with 2K clear, put it back on, and that was it. The guy has a pro tub. Okay. Shoot, we have a pro tub, then you can use that. All right, Gene, I'm going to go myself. Y'all, this was fun. I got more footage coming. I'm dropping one tomorrow. It's gonna drop. Premiere's gonna drop about 6 o'clock, and I'm doing all premieres because if anybody got any questions about anything in it, I can just type in it and let people know right then and there. Please make sure you hit the notification button so you don't miss anything. And Fun with Girls, y'all! Shout out to Fun with Girls. She just got monetized. Fun with Girls, I was waiting for you to get on before I had got off so I could have a drink to celebrate your success of getting it. She just got monetized. To celebrate your success, just for you. Ting. Sorry, y'all, just water in here. I ain't drinking nothing yet. But shout out to you. Shout out, shout out, shout out. Cheers to you. I was actually about to get off this live, but when you jumped on, I'll stay on for a few more minutes. And you asked what you missed. You I don't know if you missed it or not, but because I know you was doing a live before I got ready to do mine, but I did a premiere of some throwback footage, and the throwback footage I did a premiere on is basically a car show that I went to. I have a lot of footage of it, and I kind of chopped it up, and I'm doing premieres on it. And I'm doing premiere every day. Every day, I'm putting out a video of what I have. If not every day, every other day. There's gonna be a lot of videos coming out. So far, it's been every day. It's been every day since what, Thursday or Friday. I've been just throwing out vids of throwing out vids, throwing out vids, throwing out vids of everything that and all the stuff that I've went to. And right now, I'm doing the footage of Stump Fest. I already did 2013. Now I'm doing the stuff for 2015. 2014, I didn't go to because I had just moved from down there to up here to KC, and that year I didn't go. So I went 2015. I went all the way up until they moved it from that racetrack to, and they moved it to Reynolds, Georgia. I didn't go to those, and it wasn't because it was in Reynolds, Georgia. It's just I just didn't come back for those because I was always going to a bunch of other stuff that I was going to. And from Stunfest, yes. And and Fun with Girls, the only other thing you missed was just that, and me talking about some of the engine stuff, and talking about how stuff has grown, and talking about a lot of stuff with the kids right now. And the kids, hey John, you like my pimp cup, don't you? Yeah, yeah, yes. It's the pimp cup. Yep. Um, and basically talking about how a lot of kids have kind of gotten away from I don't want to use the term got away, but they basically are not into a lot of the cars like that. Not all kids, but it's not like it was when I was growing up or when the generation above me and generation above that. It was a lot of people in the cars, like all you heard about. Now, if you hear about cars, it's something that's already running, something that's already done. Basically, built, not bought. Excuse me, bought, not built. Let me put it that way. Excuse my French. Bought, not built. So a lot of kids are doing that now. There's nothing wrong with that. But it's a few out here that's still out here that love that whole thing. Sorry, y'all. I had somebody messaging me. John said, John, it was trying to block your message, wanted me to review it because you cursed them, but I'm gonna put it out there. Hunted, don't build their own shit. Yeah, but it's a lot of kids out here that don't have the resources, and that's Fun with Girls. That's what I was talking about. There's a lot of kids that don't have the resources. Like I had to go speak at a high school. I got volunteered to go speak at a high school about IT stuff because I'm in IT security. But before doing IT security and all that stuff like that, I paid cars. During the time of paying the cars, I did personal security, personal bodyguard security for a lot of people, a lot of famous people, and a lot of judges and politicians and all that crap. But I got to see how this high school has. They gave a tour for everybody that came to speak. It had auto mechanic shop, a body shop. It had everything in it. It even had a home ec, but they didn't call it home ec. They had a whole cooking thing, and then over here they had in another part of the building they had where girls that wanted to sew. They also had a cosmetology setup and a nail setup, and they were like, yeah, by the time they get done with high school, they can go take the state board test and get licensed. I'm like, what? So yeah, they already had the hours in. They already and from here, this is a live shop. So we have people come in, they get stuff done and pay. So this is basically a barber school, hair school is all in one. I'm like, oh wow. So they can leave from here and go take the test, state board test, get certified, and already be working. Whether they're working way through school, whether they just want to do that for a living, and not have to pay a bunch of money to go to a school. I said, this is so smart. I love it. And those kids, they were taking advantage of it. Taking full advantages of it. But definitely, I've been on here for an hour. It's my time. Y'all appreciate y'all for joining in. Yeah, they don't make school to prep kids for real life possibilities. Fun with Girls, they don't. And it's so sad they don't. But I've seen a lot of schools that do. To me, I hate to say it, but a lot of schools don't teach them real life stuff. Like how to balance, I don't want to say a checkbook, but how to balance your money, how to invest, how to find, stuff about finances. And there's a lot of other people out here, like Dr. Boyce Watkins. He's one of them. My boy Jay Morrison. I actually met Jay Morrison years ago before he became what he is now, but that's a whole nother topic. Real good brother. So proud of him. He opened up his center. Um, they're going in to teach stuff, and my kids are too young. My kids are 1 and 2. But for them, they're going to learn all that stuff that go along. I'm not going to wait on a school to teach them any of that stuff at all. Yeah, yeah, John, do your taxes. Actually, that same high school, it's mandatory they take a tax prep class. It's a tax prep class, and it's given by H&R Block because H&R Block Home is here. How about that? And they're teaching them about taxes, teaching them how to do it. And I thought that was so great. H&R Block chipped in to do that for school. And it was like, yeah, they have a whole setup, teach you how to do taxes, teach you how to do this, teach you everything about finance, teach you about this, teach you about that, and teach you how to file it because most people don't know how to file. There's grown people that don't know how to file their taxes, don't know what to file under, don't know what they qualify for, any of that. So to me, I'm like, I love what that school was doing. And it was a regular high school. And I was like, yo, I wish they did that here in Canada. John, I wish they did that everywhere. There's not a lot of places to do. Like I said, that was just one school. I don't know too many schools here that do that. But you have a lot of academies that do stuff like that. And I like what Dr. Umar Johnson was talking about doing with his school. If y'all don't know who it is, definitely Google him with his school and what he's thinking about, talking about doing. I love a lot of what he's doing, and it's going to prep people for it because it's a losing battle. If it keeps going for generation to generation, if they're not learning, anything about life skills before they get out in the world. You just throw them out there and they're thinking they know stuff and don't know how to balance money and don't know what stocks and bonds are, don't know what CDs are, don't know what taxes are and how to file them and all what you need to do with them. So, sorry, somebody was texting me about something. Sorry, y'all. I don't like to be rude, but I think I think in this time and day, they should have it. I've been overseas when I was doing security, and I've seen so much stuff overseas that they're teaching them that it's crazy. You said, right, my cousin got out of college and got his first job and was like, what's a W-4? And that's sad. That's sad. I actually knew somebody that was like that too, back when I was in school, and I had to teach him. Back when I was in IT school, and he was actually older than me, and he didn't know how to do a lot of things because we like a business class for those like me that have your own business now. If you want to run your own business, this is how to do it. It was just a mandatory class, and I took it, and I was like, yeah, I took something like this in college before. When I was in college for automotive collision, we had to take the same kind of class. And it's some people that don't know how to do that, and it's so sad. And man, it's so sad. And not only that, it's even sad. It's even sadder. And former girls, really listen to this. It's even sadder when I had these kids coming to me and say to me, "What What do you do for a living?" I said, "What do I do for a living?" Other kids, "Oh, he sell drugs." I said, "I don't sell no drugs." "Well, how you got a nice car like that? How you get this? How you got that? How you did this? How you did that?" And I'm like, I did a lot of things by hard work. It had nothing to do with none of that. That's not me. That's not what I do. Oh, okay. And I said, yeah. And I had to think that's what they grew up around. And I've been around that too, majority of my life. But you know what? You ain't got to do all that kind of stuff. And yeah, you're right. It's terrible. It's all they, and that's all they see. This kid, that's all he saw. He told me, so that's all I see. That's all I know. I said, I know. I said, I saw that too at one point, but that wasn't all I saw. But I saw that. I grew up in New York, so I Jamaica, Queens, and in Laurelton. I seen a lot of that stuff. I seen dope dealers have the same thing that somebody would regularly work for. But you know what? The people that regularly work for and don't do any of that, they ain't got to watch their backs, and that's what I told that kid. You ain't got to watch your back. You ain't got to worry about nothing. He sell them YouTube videos. He sell that LOL. It's called hard work success. That's what it is. Hard work and success. And not to say I'm always where I want to be, but I'm better than what I was 10 years ago. I'm better than what I was 15 years ago, 20 years ago. And I'm like everybody else. I'm progressing and trying to, get better and trying to get things going where it's going. For me, and I ain't trying to toot my own horn, I'm the first male in my family to graduate from college, not once, but twice. Not to say college for everybody, but I was also the first male in my family to finish high school on time. The first. I set the bar on that. And we debated that at a family reunion. It was like, thinking about like, you right. I said, nope. They married to the family. I'm talking about the immediate family. I'm talking about the blood family. They thought about it. You're right. You are the first. Exactly. The rest of me got GEDs or dropped out. For my dad's side of the family, that's what they did. And a lot of them, because there's reason in the South, and during that time, they went straight to work because they had to work. And back then, back in them days, 50s, 60s, 70s, you get away with that. But as time progressed along, you couldn't get away with that. But yeah, phone girls, wow. And I take great pride in that. I set the bar for that. And my kids, they're gonna get the same thing. They're gonna get to that point where I'm gonna tell them, like, look, I set the bar, y'all gotta set it higher. I set the bar, set it higher. Y'all mom, my wife set the bar even higher than that. She has a master's degree. So y'all gonna go even higher than that. And I don't mean just with college. I mean even if, because college ain't for everybody. Even if you say, hey, I want to go do this and do that. Hey, as long as you're doing something besides sitting around and not doing nothing, letting your life waste away, I'm with it. As long as you're doing something positive and projective, I'm with it. On my mom's side, I was the first to finish college. Former girls, congrats on that. Congrats on that. Matter of fact, former girls, you need to hit me up on IG. We talk about a few things that it was something that you said on your live, um, and something that you said in a video you did. And I got to go back and look at it. It was a question about, but I need to hit you up on IG. My IG is the same thing, New York and your city. I think we already connected already, but I need to hit you up about that. Not worried about being dead or in jail. Earn it, work for it. That's it, John. That's it, period. Earn it, work for it. That's it. I mean, that's basically it. And it's a lot of people that don't want to work for it. Instant gratification, like for instance, back when I was painting cars, this dude was telling me this young kid came in, he had to be maybe 15, 16 years old, but he looked like he was about 10 or 12 because he had a young face. And he said, I'm gonna own my shop one day. I said, okay, yeah, you gonna own your own shop one day? You definitely gonna do that, definitely do that. He said, yeah. He said, what I'm gonna do is, and he went in explanation. I'm not gonna say all what he said, but what he said, I just looked at him, I said, um, how you think you're gonna do that? Because yeah, you don't need this and you don't need that to do this. That's how so and so over here did it. And I had to tell him, I said, hey man, let me tell you something. I said, you can't just up and do that without having some kind of knowledge. I said, you have to do something. Have to get some kind of knowledge of it. Whether you went to school or not, you have some knowledge on it. Or else you looking to fail if you don't have no kind of knowledge on it. I said, I've seen people start a business and not have a whole knowledge, not have any knowledge based about not have anything and fall down. Being boss is rewarding even if you're not earning 6, 7 figures. Exactly. Exactly. And me and another YouTube, we talked about this, and he was like, "Man, I wish I'd be in a position like that." And I'm like, "No, you don't want to just be in my position." I said, "Yeah, I own my own business and I own this, but it's a, you already know what you're gonna make when you go in. Mine, my pay varies, depends on what I'm doing, how I'm doing. For instance, the holidays coming up. When the holidays come up, I'm usually off for 2 weeks without pay. A lot of people can't do 2 weeks off without pay. That's me. That's me. That's me. Hold on, somebody else hit me up. Somebody else. Oh shoot, damn, you still on live? Yep, I'm still on live. Still on live. So, y'all, any more questions? Anything else? If not, I'm gonna jump off this live. I've been on here over an hour. So if that's it, y'all, my time is gone. There's a couple more lives that I got to jump in that's already on. I got them on different platforms. So definitely. I thank y'all for jumping on. Farmer Girls, if you on if you're on IG, like I said, hit me up, Newark in your city. And don't forget that y'all hit that like button. I haven't hit it. And I'm going tomorrow. I got another premiere coming up. It's going another part of Stunt Fest is going to drop at 6 p.m. Central Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Jump on it, and I'll holler back at y'all. Y'all be safe out there. Some crazies out there. Be safe. And enjoy this holiday season. Yep, IG is the same as YouTube. Okay, well, I'll definitely hit you up on it. All right, y'all. Peace.